Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Million Mom Movement. We are just dropping in the chat where we're joining us from. So if you're joining us now, you're just hopping on, feel free to drop in the chat what city you're in, what state, what country. We have some people in Canada, Kentucky, Maui, Idaho, Los Angeles. It's just really cool to see where everyone's tuning in from. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. My name is Dominique Jeffries. I have been a part of this council for 5 months now, and this is actually my fifth year within the Purium community. And I love leading these calls once a month because I get to honor our business opportunity. And like we say here in Purium, our business is our number one product. Drop some love in the chat if you agree, because to be honest, if it wasn't for the business opportunity, none of us would be here, right? Yeah, I see a lot of love in the chat. None of us would be here. 5 years ago, I was working as a hostess in a restaurant. I was working about 40 to 50 hours a week, just really depleted physically, emotionally, and also financially. And when I was introduced to this opportunity, to this community, these superfoods really nourished my body and brought me back to life. But outside of just the physical transformation I experienced, it really opened me up, opened my spirit up to this opportunity of freedom, a completely new way of creating income that I ever thought was possible. At the time, I was actually praying for a way out of the restaurant. I just didn't know what it looked like. And so I had no idea it would come wrapped up in a bow with these organic superfoods. But I'm so grateful for the opportunity because it has taught me a way of creating income through community, through wellness, and also just through leadership and personal development. So I am a Green Diamond leader here with Purium, and I'm so proud to say that because of this opportunity, I've been blessed to be able to impact over 1,000 families with this nutrition and with this opportunity, and especially within Black communities and Black families, which are really dear to my heart. So because of Mother's Day, which just passed this past weekend, we wanted to honestly just honor and recognize the women in our community who are mothering organizations, right? Mothering communities through this business opportunity and through leadership. And most of them who were honored at our Diamond Club, which was last month. So we have some stories tonight we're going to share with you of some women in our community, their stories at Diamond Club, and just really how impactful this opportunity has been for them and their family. So before we get into today's presentation, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are the Million Mom Movement, but MOM actually stands for Movement of Many. So you do not have to be a mom to be a part of this community. I, in fact, actually do not have any children of my own, but I am an aunt and a sister and a daughter. So we're calling on moms, dads, caregivers, aunts, uncles, educators, influencers, anyone who truly cares about making a difference in your community. And we do that by spreading health, spreading well-being, and economic opportunity around organic superfood nutrition. So our mission is to be able to impact over 1 million families. And each of us can do that if we focus on helping 10 families each. And so if you are a part of this community, just think of the families that you've already been able to impact. Obviously, you've been able to impact your own family personally, but the people that you are sharing this with, if we can all commit to impacting 10 families each, we can truly grow to becoming 1 million strong and beyond. So let's get into our pledge. We always start our calls off with reading our Million Mom Movement pledge, and Solveig is on. She actually was on early and volunteered to read our pledge. So I'll go ahead and ask you to unmute and you can read it for us.
Hi. Okay. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know you're joining us from Colorado. Can you share just what this pledge means to you or being a part of this movement means to you directly?
For me, it means realigning my life to what's best for my family and being in health and listening to what my family's needs are instead of what the demands are on my family.
Exactly. Yeah. That's having sovereignty is what you're saying. Yeah. And to create a new way of being and living for your family. So thank you so much for sharing that and sharing from your heart. And we're grateful to have you a part of our community. And I know a lot of other families that are listening definitely feel the same way. I know I do. And that's what
Thank you.
really, yeah, no problem. That's exactly what drew me to this community, was to be able to impact my family and the future of my family's health and financial well-being. So thank you so much for sharing. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's presentation. So like I said, we are covering the diamond, I like to call them diamond mamas, millionaires in the making. And like I mentioned, this community is not solely just for mothers, but if you are a part of this community, you are mothering a movement, you're mothering a organization. So if you are a diamond in our community, please just drop in the chat your diamond rank or above. If you're diamond and above, please drop it in the chat. I just want to see who's joining us and honestly just honor you and celebrate you, right? Because diamond is very special. It's the first leadership rank in the company, and it is an opportunity for us to really create longevity in this company, but also within our communities, right? I see Mari's on Green Diamond, Lucy, two-star crown, Naiva Blue Diamond, Dana, yay, new diamond in November. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Ruth, diamond, exactly, right? And so diamond honestly highlights your personal growth, your commitment, but also taking aligned action, right? When you think about diamond, the actual mineral, right, in nature, because we're all connected to nature here, it's very rare and it's built under pressure. It's something that takes resilience, and it's not, I like to think about diamond, especially just as the embodiment of it. It's not about just achieving and hitting a rank, right? It's really about embodying a diamond and being a diamond. So all of you that just dropped in the chat, you know, that you are a diamond or diamond and above, I honor you, I celebrate you for your resilience and your commitment to this community and your own personal growth, because I know it's not easy. And I'm going to share my story in the next slide about my road to diamond and my road to green diamond. But wanted to highlight Diamond Club, which I mentioned we have twice a year. Last month was the first celebration, and it is just like an incredible opportunity. So anyone that's on the call that's not yet at Diamond, it is just a event that you definitely want to get to, but you know you will never forget your first Diamond Club. So this is an opportunity where you actually get a complimentary 2-night stay at a luxury hotel in Southern California. Dave and Amy actually comp that stay for you. You also get a complimentary tour of our manufacturing facility in Long Beach. I have a picture here of some people that were touring this past month. And yeah, you get to see how our superfoods are made. And it just really connects you to how powerful our nutrition is. I know the first time I went, I thought, oh my God, this food is literally cleaner than anything I can get from the grocery store or grow in my own backyard. Like no one has the quality standards that we have. And then you also get to spend quality time with Dave and Amy, a lot of the top leaders in the company. And you get to have an array of superfoods just at your leisure. I have a picture here of a woman that's drinking Can't Beat This. And I mean, we all love our superfoods, but to be able to go to an event and you could just get as much Can't Beat This and Power Shake as you want, oh my God, it's like a dream come true. So that's exactly what Diamond Club is. Now, I wanted to share my first Diamond Club. So I achieved Diamond in 2021. And then this was June 2021, and I achieved Green Diamond in December 2021, actually 2 days after my birthday. And when I talk about the road to diamond, right, it's about becoming a diamond. It's about having the resilience and embodying what it means to really be a leader. And I remember the month of May prior to when I achieved diamond in June. I had an incredible run. I had so many new partners that were hitting director and consultant, and it just was a great time. I remember my sister, she actually enrolled me into the business, and she ended up hitting green diamond actually, yeah, in June. Excuse me, in May. She ended up hitting green diamond in May, and we had another friend in our community that hit diamond that month. And so May, I was like, oh my God, I got to get there. I was so close. I think I was only just like a few thousand points away, and I didn't achieve it in May. And I was pretty sad, I will say. I was like, oh, I really wanted to hit diamond with my sister and with our friend, but it wasn't my time. And I will say that all of the energy, all of the commitment that I gave to myself at that time, it set me up to achieve diamond in June. And that's what I did. I hit diamond with ease, and it was just the best experience ever. I'm so grateful that I was able to hit it with the team that I had. And I really stepped into leadership because before that rank, I was a little afraid to share the business opportunity. I was afraid to kind of lean into the leader that I've always known I needed to be because I just didn't know if I could really hold it. And so that month before, when I got my feet wet and I started sharing the opportunity, I started working with other leaders, I felt I built the muscle to hold it in June. And so that was my first run to diamond. And then in December, that was an incredible month. Anytime around the end of the year, going into the new year, where you have people ready to set their New Year's goals, whether it comes to their health or their financial health, it's just a lot of fun around that time of the year. And I actually had my first diamond around that time that helped me get to green. And because I hit green diamond that year, the next year was when we had our diamond club. And so not only did I get to go with my sister, but I also brought my own diamond with me. So I just brought some photos here I wanted to share of my experience at Diamond Club. I got to meet some of the crown leaders for the first time. I have a picture here with Christina Amine. She's the best person ever. She's so sweet, and she's gave me so much knowledge that I got to just get from her and her experience in this company and as a regenerative farmer, but then also just, as a leader here. I got to meet Dave and Amy. And I remember Melissa Hanson saying that this opportunity, going to Diamond Club, being able to be immersed in the community and meeting Dave and Amy is something that you can leverage in your business, right? Like I get to say now that I met the owners and I had dinner with them. And sometimes, I don't know if anybody resonates with this, but if you are speaking to people, new people about your business, and sometimes they may look at Purium as just like another random company, right? It's like, oh, these are just another product, and not really see that you're actually connected to this community. Like truly, I don't look at Purium as a company. I look at it as my family. So to show a picture like this to the people I'm sharing or I'm prospecting, like, hey, I got to meet the owners, I got to tour the facility, I've had firsthand experience with this. It really just hits, deeper to our heart and how we really are connected together in this mission. I have a picture here with Miss Jackie. Jacqueline Kitch is my first diamond. She lives here with me in Florida, and it was just so fun to bring her. She brought her daughter with her, and just to have that experience together and to share the stories. And it also just helped her connect even more to this mission and the community that we're a part of with Purium. And this, I will say too, that this Diamond Club was the first one post-pandemic. And during the pandemic, our company completely grew. We had so many leaders step up into their leadership ranks. And so we had a really big Diamond Club class. Like it was a huge Diamond Club, which was so fun because we're used to seeing everybody on, these little screens on Zoom. And so it was the first time that we all kind of got to reconnect post the pandemic. And then we had an incredible superfood social that was outside. It was actually in the parking lot of our manufacturing facility in Long Beach. And we had like rock climbing and like superfoods, where I know the Million Mom Movement council members put together different superfood bites, and people got to try those. And obviously we had all of our superfoods, power shakes and Can't Beat This and Cocoa Hydrate in these huge gallon jugs where people could try them. And I had two of my friends who were in Los Angeles at the time. One of them actually is from back home with me from Louisville, Kentucky, which is where I was raised. And she got to come with me and try the superfood. She actually is a YouTube star and she vlogged the whole experience. And so it was so cool just to see her experience with something that's so close to me, this company, and to just have her vlog it and just capture that moment. So I just wanted to show a little bit about my journey through Diamond Club, or to Diamond, and then just my first Diamond Club experience. But enough about me. I want to get into our first guest, Nicole. Is she on? If you're on, maybe we can unmute you. Nicole is a Green Diamond leader. She is a stay-at-home mom. She's here in Naples, Florida. And I saw a video of her on Facebook with her daughter, and she was just capturing their experience at Diamond Club. Her daughter shared her story, and it just really hit home to me how powerful this community is for generations to come, and right, for families to do this together, and just to be, to see the legacy that we're creating. And so I was really excited to have her on and share her story, just to honor her and the work that she's doing and the legacy that she's leaving for her daughter and her other children. So if you are on, Nicole, can you raise your hand? Oh, there you are. I see you. Let me go ahead and have you unmute. And you, there we go. Ask to unmute.
Yay.
Yay, there
Thank
we
you
are.
so much.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being on. I'm so excited to have you share your story and everyone to hear your story and Kaya's story. Hi, Kaya's. Thank you so much for being
Hi.
on. So yeah, first, Nicole, if you just want to share your story, because you have a very powerful story, how you were introduced to Purium and what really made you say yes to the business opportunity.
Yeah. So, we had thought we were living the dream. We were living out in Colorado. We were homesteading. We had opened up our own brick and mortar, little organic market. My husband was driving around to all the local farmers, collecting organic, regeneratively grown produce. And it was a really beautiful time in our lives. And then until it wasn't. And 2021, COVID hit. We were deeply grieving as a family. We had a family loss that was really, really hard and tragic for us. And my entire family was literally living on prayers. So it just went from like really being high and living the dream to just being in the deepest state of grief we've ever experienced. And then our brick and mortar wasn't doing well either. Nobody was allowed to come through the doors. And so it just spiraled into deep financial issues, emotional issues, and just getting food on the table was such a struggle. And a dear friend of ours, Mary Beth, brought over a gift. Actually, it was her mother, brought over a basket to us, and it was filled with Purium. And I called it my basket of hope. And it really transformed our lives. I mean, I had no idea, we were really living on a prayer at that time, and I didn't realize it was going to come, in a box of nutrition, if you will, but it really did. And yes, it was so easy to make shakes and feed my nephews and take care of the family, and make sure everybody was getting nourished. Within 30 days of being on the superfoods, my entire family of 12 was like, we had a zest for life again. My sister was in and out of the hospital with multiple complications, life-threatening complications, and we were able to get Purium into the hospital to help nourish her. And she just started doing so amazing, and she wanted to get out of bed again. And there was just a lot of transformation. It was you couldn't acknowledge, you had to acknowledge that it was the superfoods being a huge part of it. And then we realized, right, Mary Beth then shared with us that this could be a financial opportunity. And we were already in the place of wanting to nourish people and making sure that our community had access to good food. And so it just made sense. It made sense to be able to offer Purium. But it was a different world for us. I wasn't really familiar with the internet and using social media. And so like that kind of outreach was really a stretch and a learning curve. And I'm so grateful that I said yes to that part. But I think the biggest piece of my story that, I mean, of course, our physical health is so huge and our mental and emotional health is so huge. And then the financial part is obviously huge for us to get out of that poverty story. But for me, like, Purium was an energy, and there's like such a community that literally lifted us up out of the darkest times of our life. And nobody even knew who we were for the most part, but there is just a presence that Purium has that just lifts people up. And literally, I could feel that. I could still feel it to this day when we're going through things. That Purium really just like pulls us and holds us in this like safety net of, you're loved and seen and prayed for. And yeah, so here we are now. It's been 4 years, and we are so committed and so lit up about this opportunity to now share it. We finally got the social media part down. My daughters, my teenagers are getting older, and they're leaning into the business too. And so we're just really excited to be able to flip the script and change the story for so many.
Yes, that's such a beautiful story. And I love that you said that Purium it's an energy, right? Like we're the transformation company. And I always say that our superfoods, but also our business opportunity, it's that one thing that's like our anchor throughout whatever we're going through in life, whatever transformation we're going through. If it's emotional, if it's physical, it's financial, we have a solution for that. And I love that, you started with nourishing your body during a time of deep grief so that you could feel stronger and then be able to pour into others, because that's something too that's really really hard to do, to help other people when you can't really pour into yourself. But this community also supported you also. And then yeah, just your journey, your personal development of going from brick and mortar to online income. Can you share just a little bit about your journey to Diamond? I know you're Green Diamond. What that looked like, just the personal development you had to grow through. I know you have mentioned, just some work as far as like financially that you had to kind of overcome. I also have my own experience with that. But what was that journey like, just moving through Diamond and Green Diamond, and some of the things that might have, were really hard to move through, but you did it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that, really leaned into my mentors, really leaned into the leaders that we have in this company, that if you have your hand raised and you want to go on the journey, they are there. They've been waiting for us, right? And so that was so refreshing to just be so welcome to learn, as an adult, to think like, we have leaders in our company that are willing to pour into us. And so I allowed that. I allowed them to continue to pour in, to continue to help me change mindset shifts from not, I was such an indecisive person most of my life, usually just working with what I had because I was very much in the poverty mindset. And I'm really good at working with what I have. But this really took me to a level, and getting to have a team with Purium, you really have to be able to make a decision. Getting to Diamond Club and getting to convention, it's really about making a decision. And when you make a decision, that's what it is. And it's not just a want and a hope for the future, which is really where I feel like a lot of my poverty story kind of lied. Is I always hoped there was more, but I never had like the vehicle to actually do it. So I went to college. I did all the things that society kind of told me to do to make it successful, but I still wasn't reaching those limits because, those ranks and that success that I knew was, going to be able to pour into my family. So I think, really leaning into community, finding other people, being bold, sharing this excitement with other people is really where it's at. And, when we have something so good, it's so, uh, for me, I used to hold back in the poverty mindset. I used to think, well, if I can't do it, they can't do it either. Or I know they can't afford it. Or I know they're going through this, but they're not going to like it. They're not going to want to do it. And really, once I like took that lid off and allowed myself to share the opportunities for people, that's where things really started to shift for me. So I would say it was a combination of like leading into the leaders, leading into my mentorship, and doing the tasks, doing the things that they would suggest, and letting them hold my hand and walk me through those uncomfortable moments of growth. And then yeah, and then I think to get to Green Diamond, it was like seeing your team, like seeing them transform their lives. When you finally bring this to other people and you start to see them get healthier, them start to see the vision of what's possible, to get out of their situations and create income to be at home with their children. It's hard to to quit that path. And so I am very dedicated at this point to continue to help people shift mindsets to get healthy and wealthy. I think our children deserve it, and it's time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so many gems in what you just said. First thing was making a decision, right? I think that honestly, there are no wrong decisions. Every decision you make is the right one for you, and you either learn from it, which it helps you grow, or it's something that you realize was like, wow, this was not necessarily the right decision, but it feels good for me. And you just allowed yourself to be open. And I love that our superfoods, for me, they were the catalyst to helping me kind of open up more and to share my story. And then to, like you said, to connect with people and let go of these thoughts that are telling me that they don't want this, they don't need this, I'm overstepping. It's like, I can't, my mentor, Lucy Mays, she always says, don't speak for me, right? Like, let them answer that, don't just have this conversation back and forth in your head and you're not talking to anyone. So that was a huge nugget I took from that. And yeah, just the limiting beliefs. It's this business forces you to face them and to move through them. But like you mentioned, to have a community to support you. I can't imagine being a solopreneur and having to make those decisions on my own and then just kind of just falling back and not leaning into it. But here you get to lean into it even more because you see others who've done it too.
Yes.
So it's possible, right? And then yeah, the green diamond, I feel the same way. That's that level of, oh, it's not about, well, honestly, with diamond, it's not about you either, which is why it is the first leadership rank. It is about helping your team grow. But green diamond is where those leaders really start to step up even more. And as you go through the other color diamonds and then get to crown, you get to see those, leaders really step up and grow. And I feel you. It's like this dance of like letting go of control and knowing that it's not in your hands. It's either in a higher powers or your team. You have to allow them to step into leadership. And that was a big lesson for me too, is just kind of like allowing them to blossom and trusting that, they have everything they need. I'm a great leader. Our community has a lot of support for them. And if they truly do want this, they raise their hand and they will, be there. So thank you. Yeah, for sharing all of that. And was this your first Diamond Club or had you been before?
I actually this is my second one. I went as
Second one,
diamond.
okay.
Yep. And then I went as green diamond. Yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I feel like I'm not missing a Purium event if I don't,
I feel you, yeah.
help it. No, this
So
is
what
my
would you say?
community.
Yeah. What would you say? What were your takeaways from both years? I know you just went with your daughter this past one, but what were your favorite moments from both Diamond Clubs that you went to?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely always appreciate the cleanliness. We're dealing with food. I've worked in a lot of restaurants. You mentioned you were a server. I've been a server a majority of my working careers as well. And I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and my husband as well as a chef. And when you start to see what's going on in a lot of places that are preparing food for us, you're not going to want to eat there anymore. And to go to Purium's facility and see where they're preparing our food is just a breath of fresh air. And it's just the way that, it should be. And I absolutely love and cherish that part. And then, yeah, I think being around other leaders, like you said, being around other people who, you are the 5 people you're around, right? And to be around so many successful individuals of all diverse individuals as well, that are want to pour into you and want to give you advice is just, it's absolutely I feel like it's a miracle, to be honest with you. It's like, is this real? I'm pinching myself.
No, seriously, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my top 2 takeaways at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I feel you with that. I mean, our foods, the vibration that we have with the foods that we eat are so high. And then when you're in a community of people who've been eating them just as long as you have or longer, it's that vibration of the room is just raises, right? And everyone is so heart-centered. And you feel it when you're on these calls, on our corporate calls, throughout the weeks. But when you're in the environment, you get to really touch people and hug them and you just feel so enlightened. Yeah, Julie said this food lights up the cells of the body. It does. And so that's one of the reasons why I love this business model, because we only grow when we help others experience this too. So a lot of people now are struggling with a lot of depression, and there's so much going on in the world, in the economy, and they don't know that a resource like this is available, let alone a community, and then to just be poured into. To it's people say it's too good to be true, but it's really not. Like, this is how our world should be. But
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for Dave and Amy for opening this up to us so that we can share it, with others. So thank you so much for sharing. And then Kai, I just want to acknowledge you too, because I watched your video and I just loved how you spoke about your experience and, your mom and just your family and this being a family business. So just wanted to hear, what was your favorite takeaway from Diamond Club and just being a part of this community and watching your mom rise into leadership.
Hi. The takeaway from the Diamond Club, let's see. Yeah, mom's right. Surrounding yourself with people that are like really strong-willed and lovable and really have that drive to be great people and make other people great is really powerful to be around because I mean, it's so hard to be around good people all the time. And then when you aren't around good people, you start to go down to their level and then you start to become like a less version of yourself. But being there, I felt more confident because everyone else was confident. I was like, "Oh, you guys are doing this with me. Like, oh wow, you're going to be able we can do this together. Like you're such strong, beautiful people. I want to be like that too." So, that's something I took away was like the people were so strong and I was like, "I'm going to be like this." Like it was incredible.
Yes, I love your shirt too. It's perfect for what you just mentioned.
Strong is beautiful.
It is
Yes, yes.
beautiful. Yeah. And you are doing it, just, being in the room, right, with your mom, showing up with her and supporting her. What would you say just watching her in this business is like some of the outside of Diamond Club, but just through, her day to day and working this, what would you say inspires you the most with watching your mom grow and as a leader?
Definitely her resilience. I struggle with it. When you get beat down sometimes, you're like, no, I'm not getting back up. I'm done. I give up. But, she was able to get beat down and be like, no, I'm not, this is not the end. And she gets back up and she stays strong and she grows from that. And I've been learning to do that myself because it is hard when you get pushed down and you just don't want to stand back up. But when you do, it's so rewarding. And
Mhm.
I really appreciate her for that because that's just
Yeah.
so incredible.
It is. That's so beautiful. I'm so glad that you said that because there's always going to be ups and downs in life, right? But to, like you said, to get back up, to know that there's a lesson here, to know that you are strong and that you can continue is important. But this community just reminds you that you're not alone. And then just this mission alone, it's like, I can't not share this. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
no matter what, like I have to, you have this desire to want to share it with others, no matter what, no matter how, if you feel like you're not moving through the ranks or your business isn't growing like you wanted to, at the end of the day, you're still so grateful to be here and to have this opportunity that no matter what, you always will continue to share it. So yeah, Julie said in the chat, it's such a great example your mom is setting for you. And that's so true. To do this as a family is incredible. And I honor both of you and just, definitely support you in continuing to grow together because you are creating a new legacy for your family. And so many families deserve that and need that and don't know that it's an opportunity that they can do. So thank you both so much for being on and
Thank
sharing your
you.
stories.
Thank you.
Yes. So now I do want to spend few minutes just opening up the line for any feedback or stories from Diamond Club. Maybe if you were at Diamond Club this past year or years before and you'd like to share, you can raise your virtual hand. I know Dana is on and she's going to share. Yeah, Dana, I'd love to unmute you and feel free to share your experience with Diamond Club and what the journey to Diamond has been for you. Because I know you said you're a new Diamond this past November.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dominique. And so, what a delight to see Nicole and Kaya again. I just got to spend time with them at Diamond Club. I it it was a journey. I live in southern New Hampshire, so to make it out to Long Beach was a journey for me. And there was, back and forth. Am I going? Am I not going? I'm so glad I went. No, I started long before I met Piriam. I had this deep desire to change healthcare from the inside out. And I was steeped in the nine to not only 5, but sometimes 7. And I was really exhausted and exhausted myself trying to help others. And what I am learning, this business is teaching me not only how to nourish myself along the way, but also how to not do for others and to empower others and to let go of my desire to care for others and to do it all myself. And so Diamond Club, this past experience for me, was all about understanding where I had been continuing this pattern of overextending myself, because what I found there was just surrounded by community, surrounded by support. And sure, I knew that that was present, but to actually be there and feel it, and it's a whole nother cellular experience. You know, to see what Dave and Amy have produced together, and to really hear the ground floor and hear the growth of what it is today, I started to really understand that this is not about doing it myself. And Diamond is that like point at which you get to switch and think, oh, no, this is really about leaning into receiving support. It's really leaning into receiving that group effort and that team effort. And that's really what I got, for sure. So glad to see the facility, but also to hear at the feet of Dave and Amy the growth that and the mindset changes that they had to experience, you know, from growing in a little facility to a large facility, and all that has happened in their leadership was really life-changing for me. I like to say it was identity changing, because suddenly I felt like, wow, I really am collaborating in a mission and an effort that at a cellular level feels like it's so nourishing to the whole planet. And that's really what I experienced there on a deeper level. I'm so glad I went, and so glad to speak about it here among you all.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. I resonate so much with what you mentioned, just the energy, and you can't put it into words. You just have to be there. You have to really, yeah, be immersed in the community. And like you said, that was one of the number one things I had to release too, is this need to have to support and pull people up, or have to overgive, right? And I realized that that's not serving anyone. It's definitely not serving myself, but it's also not serving them, because I'm not allowing my team members or even my, customers to step up and to be able to nourish themselves. And so it does create this space of empowerment and yeah, just surrendering, right, to what is, whenever they're ready to step into leadership. And it feels so much better. It feels so much lighter and in alignment when you do that instead of forcing things.
Yeah, I also would love to share that I also had this little switch in what it means to be a leader. Like, I think I had this image that being a leader was, making sure everyone was taken care of. And it's actually making sure that I'm taken care of and that I'm growing and evolving the way it's my turn to evolve, and letting them be on their own trajectory. So really, really grateful for this conversation and for this community to grow in this way. And Diamond Club really is that. It's like this breakthrough point where your mindset just gets to really shift quickly.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you for sharing. Mari, hi Mari. Would love to have you share your story. I have a photo of you I'm going to share in my next slide with your diamonds. But yeah, can you share what this experience at Diamond Club was like for you last month?
Yes. You know what? It was an unforgettable experience, Diamond Club experience, because I was there with 3 diamonds. That it was beautiful. But to be there, and I am filled with so much gratitude to not only Dave and Amy, but also for the opportunity to witness and care. They care for the integrity behind the products. This is our second time being there, and even my husband was very deep. He appreciated it. He noticed a big difference. And Amy said it was a very intimate diamond club this time, that the when we at the end, the last day right before the superfood, where we got to learn from the crowns, learn from the top leaders in the company, giving us their the tips and how they went through and how we can all get to crown. And it was, they allowed the diamonds to speak what was our takeaway, and to hear two of my diamonds there, that how emotional this experience was for them, and how it was just to see Dave Sandoval got up and was holding one of them. It was just in a beautiful experience that again, walking through the manufacturing process and the triple testing and their integrity for them to bring these amazing products, providing the best despite of them. Sometimes, one thing that Amy said, you see in our office, we don't have the most expensive furniture, but we do have the best food. They spend their resources where it needs to be. And it was just a beautiful experience to be with them, to help them. And if we help them get what they want, what they need, it will come all back to us. So I like the community is very special, unlike anything else. And then the superfoods are just cherry on top that we have to share it with everyone. And I'm going to share a very quick story. Today I'm wearing green because
I know you look beautiful. I love your necklace.
I went to my networking group, and I had the privilege to give an 8-minute presentation spotlight to talk about myself and my business with Pirium. And it was a technical, I had this beautiful presentation to talk about, my family, and then Pirium and our mission. And it was, the lady was in there, so she has somebody else. So there was only 3 slides in there on my presentation, but I just spoke from the heart. I got 2 people that called me right now that I made them really think and change their mind to listen, to start this health reset. People that are just, as you said, something that it really touched me. I'm going through cancer. I need, help with this. So we just have to be passionate about what we have and sharing it with everyone, no matter what, how many no's we got. It was 86 people there. And somebody else came to me that she says, oh my gosh, I need to talk to you. My mom is a fitness, trainer. She has a business, right? So we just have to have the passion that Dave and Amy has to bring this food available for everyone. And then the business is like, oh my goodness, once you get to diamond, it's just a steps, stone to get to green and get to the main goal that we all have to get to crown. And this community is helping us. The leaders are helping us how to get there with giving us the tools and the tip, everything that we need.
Yes, resonates so much with what you said. And like you mentioned, just being in the environment with Dave and Amy and hearing their leadership and the things that they've had to grow through, it connects you to what we're doing so much more and makes you want to share and help others even more because you are connected to this community, right? So thank you for sharing, and congratulations, all your new diamonds. Like, to help that many, women rise to leadership and support them is a testament to you and your leadership also. So continue to watch your success and you continue to grow here. And then Julie, I see you have your hand raised. I'll go ahead and unmute you. So probably the last share for tonight, but would love to hear what you have to share from Diamond Clubs. I know we were there together.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of Diamond Clubs. I went to the one in 2022, 2023. I think I'll kind of echo what Mari said, which is that it just has blew me away the first time I toured the facility with how much care goes into the superfoods. I can guarantee you there is 1,000 times more care that goes into the superfoods than any restaurant that you're going to, even, so-called organic restaurants, and any grocery store. Forget about the grocery stores. I mean, I posted quite a reel on my Instagram page that shows like some of the food tampering that goes on with grocery stores. And then the other part of it is also so many of us have connected online with our teams and with each other over the years, as we've been building our businesses and getting on these types of community calls, and whether it's product education or business, that it just was really beautiful to be in community in person with so many of the faces and the people that I see on screen all time, online. And what I've always found to be truly beautiful about this community is that because of what this is, because this is so mission driven and really focused on helping people in such a profound and tremendous way, I find that most people in this community show up pretty authentically. And so even though I had cultivated all of these relationships by speaking on the phone and being on Zoom calls and being on these types of calls, when I met people in real life, it was like the same, you know? I mean, case in point, Lucy and Michael Macy's, we got to know them the first few months that we were doing, we were in Pure and Brown Partners, like way back in 2019, 2020. And our relationship was 100% on the phone and over Zooms. And then when we met them in real life in California, it was like, it was as comfortable as my relationship is with my next door neighbor, where you just see them, hey, how's it going? And it's like just easy and simple. So yeah, I mean, the quality of the products has always blown me away just from day one. But the community and the friendships and the relationships is another really beautiful aspect of being in a business like this. It's very unlike being in a corporate setting. No offense to anybody who's in corporate. Yeah, and Diamond Club is really next level in terms of being able to connect with people who are, as someone said earlier on the call, like raising their hands and really wanting to show up and really wanting to build their business. And so it's great. And we usually always end up having a superfood social. So even other people who are not a part of Diamond Club usually come out to that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful tribe to be a part of.
It is. It is. Thank you for sharing. I love that you mentioned the authenticity and people actually showing up offline as they are, as you connect with them, online. It was the same, because we all are, it's really hard to be inauthentic when you're eating this quality of food, right? Like you become your purest version of yourself. And when you're in alignment with people who share the same mission as you and the same core values, it just shows up that way when you connect with them in person. And Diamond Club, yes, is the perfect place to just kind of be immersed in that energy. So thank you for sharing your story. So I wanted to just go back into what it takes exactly to become a diamond within our company. So like I mentioned, diamond is the first leadership rank, right? So this is not something that a rank within the company that you can achieve all on your own. It truly is about supporting others and leadership and empowerment. So because of that, you have to support at least 3 people within your organization, rise to the level of consultant. And you also have to have about 15,000 in group volume points, your own personal order of 100 PV, which generally looks like a core four, daily core four, or a combination of other superfoods. And then have at least 6 active enrolled customers or brand partners within your organization. So if you have questions about what that looks like, definitely get back to the person that invited you, or is or your mentor in your business that can support you and show you what that looks like on your back office. And this is a picture of Mari and her 3 diamonds that she brought with her to the Diamond Club last month. So I just want to open it up, drop in the chat if you're going to be at the next Diamond Club, which is November 2025, 6 months from now. Drop a 2 in the chat if you're coming, because I know I am. And yes, 3 new diamonds is exactly what I was going to say. Who said that? Naiva. I'll be there with 3 new diamonds and just have an entire new experience. Like I mentioned, my first time was 2022. I've grown so much as a leader, and this company has grown. And I can't wait to be there and to see all of you there. Yeah, like Naiva said, let's grow this community together, because people are truly praying for this opportunity, just like we were. I know I was. And then I also wanted to acknowledge another opportunity that you can come together and meet our community without necessarily achieving Diamond. We have our convention, which is in a couple of months. Time is going so fast, you guys. We're already halfway through May. But July 25th through the 27th, we're having our annual convention, which is going to be in Anaheim, California. And this is open to everyone. You don't have to be a brand partner. You don't have to be a diamond. You don't even have to be a customer to attend convention. And I went to the convention last summer. It was in Phoenix, Arizona, and Scottsdale, excuse me. And it was amazing. It's the same energy like everyone mentioned on tonight's call, just being immersed with everyone who shares the same values as you and just really care about uplifting each other and the planet. But it's great because you can bring your customers with you. You can bring your brand partners that might not, necessarily be at Diamond. And it's a great opportunity for them to experience this community, to meet Dave and Amy, to meet other leaders in the company, and inspire them to move through the ranks, the higher ranks in the diamonds, and to crown. I know we had a lot of people at convention last year who did uprank right after, because they were so excited about what we have and they were just immersed in the community. So you can get your tickets for convention. You can log into your back office, or there's also a landing page that you can click on to buy your tickets and join us in July. And then before I wrap up, I just wanted to let you guys know how you can stay connected to our community. So like I mentioned, our mission is to impact 1 million families, and we need you to support. So you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can take a screenshot of this slide and just stay connected to us. Share any stories or posts using these hashtags. Naiva runs our social media. She's incredible. She always reposts, always just is really committed to sharing all the cool reels and videos that you guys make. And then on the side here as well, you can see our schedule for the rest of the month. So this month we did have 5 Thursdays. Next week, we're going to be honoring our autism community and leaders. So we will be having a call next week about autism. So please add that to your calendar. Please invite your community, your friends, family, anyone that you know that cares about that community to learn more. And then the last Thursday of the month, we're going to have a takeover from the original council members who created this Million Mom Movement community are going to be on, and we're just going to interview them and just catch up with them and just talk about how this community was initially started, right? The Million Mom Movement, why it was so important for us to launch this community, and then how we are all grown, over the past 5 years. So I'm excited for that one. And I think Mari said, will there be a flyer for next week? Yes, if you follow our Facebook group and page, we have the flyers for that call that you can share. And subscribe to our YouTube to catch this replay and share this replay of all the incredible stories we shared tonight about this business opportunity. So thank you all so much for joining tonight. Please get back to the person who invited you to this call. They'll be able to connect you to our community and answer any questions and if you're joining us for the first time and you're interested in partnering with us, you couldn't make a better decision, because it has completely transformed so many lives. And that's the real way that we grow our community, is through this business. So yes, stay on if